Have you ever believed that reading more and working harder would automatically make you wiser? But if that's true, why do you still feel lost, unclear, stuck in place? Here's a truth few people dare to say. It's not the information itself. That shapes you, it's what you do with it. You've been deceived all along. You thought that becoming wise was simply about consuming more knowledge, reading more books, pushing yourself harder. But if that really worked, then why do you still feel mentally foggy? Why hasn't clarity ever truly arrived? The truth is harsh, but it must be faced. Information doesn't make you great. It's the way you use it that defines your potential. And right now, without realizing it, you may still be stuck in mediocrity. The great Stoic philosophers were no different from you. They weren't born with extraordinary intellects or divine gifts. What they did have was an understanding that most people miss entirely. Knowledge is not power if you don't know how to apply it. It's not enough to learn. You must master how to learn. It's not enough to think. You must understand how to think effectively. In this video, you'll uncover timeless Stoic principles that will sharpen your mind, help you absorb knowledge like never before, and empower you to stand out in every area of life. But be warned, this isn't the easy path. It demands discipline, courage, and the willingness to question everything, even your own deeply held beliefs. If you're ready to stop mistaking shallow information for wisdom and instead become the true master of your own mind, let's take the first step. But before we begin, let me share Isabel's story. A woman who came to understand what most people never do. Isabel had discovered how to truly learn, and that single shift reshaped her entire destiny. The same woman, who once thought of giving up, eventually became one of the most respected researchers in her field. Not because she possessed extraordinary talent or a genius-level IQ, but because she embraced what the Stoics had been teaching for centuries. It's not about how much you know, but how effectively you use what you know. So let me ask you, are you going to keep aimlessly stockpiling information, hoarding facts like trophies? Or are you finally ready to become your own master? If this message resonates with you, please consider subscribing and becoming part of our growing community. Leave a comment below and share what's holding you back, or simply type, "I am Stoic." We're here to grow with you step by step. Because it all begins in your mind, my friend. Let's start with a tough question. How do you speak to yourself? Chances are you've told yourself at some point, "I'm not good at this. I'm a slow learner," or "I don't have what it takes." And just like that, before you've even begun, your own mind whispers, "Why even try?" Can you see it now? It's not reality that's stopping you, it's the internal story you've repeated so often that it's hardened into truth. Without realizing, you've allowed your own thoughts to become your worst enemy. But here's the truth no one tells you. If you think like a loser, you'll live like one. If you think like a master, you'll become one. And do you know what Marcus Aurelius would say if he saw you today? The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. If you want to be the best at something, to master a craft or rise as a leader, you must first conquer your own mind. The Stoics didn't wait to feel strong before acting with strength. They didn't wait to feel wise before making wise choices. They did the opposite. They trained their minds every day with discipline, with consistency, with relentless learning. Look at elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, unstoppable leaders. It's not that they were born superior, it's that they think differently. And in the next chapter, I'll introduce you to Nick, a remarkable athlete who embodies exactly how powerful a changed mindset can be. We've seen that everything begins in your mind. Now let's dive deeper into how your thoughts directly shape your actions and your results. A well-known entrepreneur once said it bluntly, "If you think like a beginner, you'll always stay one. You can't train like an amateur and expect professional results. You can't eat like someone without discipline and expect the physique of an elite athlete. You can't live a mediocre life and expect the mindset of a master. So I ask you, how do you expect to become the best if you still talk to yourself like someone who can't?" Picture this. You're asked to speak at an important meeting. Immediately, your mind triggers alarm bells. I'm going to mess this up. They'll laugh at me. Someone else would be better. And before you even begin, you're already looking for excuses. I'm too busy. Maybe next time. This just isn't for me. That's how you hold yourself back, without even realizing it. But starting today, we're going to change that, because it's not just about doing more or learning more. It's about thinking differently. Step 1. Change your inner dialogue. How do you speak to yourself when you fail? If your default reaction is, "I'm useless, I'll never get it, I shouldn't even try," then you're quietly sabotaging your own growth. But what if instead you asked, "What can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? What would a master do in this situation?" That's how true masters operate. They don't make excuses, they turn setbacks into stepping stones. Step 2. Focus on what you can control. Epictetus said it best. Wasting energy on things beyond your control only drains you. Worried about what others think? You can't control that. Afraid you're not good enough? The only answer is to get better, day by day. Stop spending energy where you're powerless. Pour it into what you can shape. Step 3. Have a personal mantra. No, not something mystical or vague. I'm talking about a grounded daily reminder, a phrase that sets your mindset each morning. Simple ones like, "Today, I improve by 1%. I act like I'm already a master at this." Try it for a week and feel the difference, because in the end, everything starts here, in your mind. You can live under the weight of your insecurities or rewrite your mental script. You can let your self-talk drag you down or turn it into your superpower. You can view obstacles as excuses or as opportunities. It's your choice. You can keep seeing knowledge as something distant and unreachable, or you can finally start using it with strategy. And believe me, once you conquer your mind, everything else becomes possible. That's how you become someone who truly masters their life. Now let me take you back to a long-lost kingdom and the story of a young apprentice who thought he knew everything until a wise king taught him the true meaning of depth. If the story of the young apprentice taught us that knowledge is nothing without understanding, then here's the next lesson. Understanding is impossible without focus. You pick up your phone to reply to a message. Before you know it, 30 minutes have passed scrolling on Instagram. Beep. One life down. You sit down to study, but every 5 minutes you check your notifications. Beep. Another life lost. You start working on something important, but suddenly remember that email you need to send. An hour vanishes into meaningless tasks. Game over. The problem isn't that you don't have enough time. The real issue is how easily you're surrendering it to distractions that feel harmless but cost you everything. Sound familiar? It should, because it's not a coincidence. Social media, TV, video games, streaming platforms, they're engineered to hijack your attention and keep you hooked as long as possible. Watch The Social Dilemma and you'll see. Every time you open an app, algorithms scan your behavior. What holds your gaze? What makes you scroll? What keeps you addicted? It's not a lack of willpower. You're facing systems designed to distract you. So what would a Stoic do? Would they let their mind be dragged around by meaningless notifications and endless content? Absolutely not. The Stoics knew something we forget. Focus is one of your most precious resources. It's not about working harder, it's about working with intention. In a world drowning in distractions, focus isn't just power, it's survival. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Concentrate every moment like it's your last." Because if you're always distracted, you're not really living. And here's the hard truth. If you don't take back control of your focus, you will never own your time. And if you don't own your time, how can you become the best at anything? How can you master anything if your attention is pulled in 1,000 directions? Imagine you want to learn a new computer program, something that could help you get a better job. You have access to everything you need, free tutorials, videos, practice material. But every time you try to focus, you check messages, jump between tabs, or end up watching random content. Days pass, weeks, months, and you're still in the same place. So how can you become your own master if your mind is constantly hijacked? Now's the time to take action. Build a system that actually helps you concentrate. If you're learning or working, eliminate interruptions. Use airplane mode, block social media. Leave your phone in another room. If the Stoics could resist the temptations of pleasure and comfort, you can resist a TikTok notification. Also, don't try to focus endlessly. Your brain isn't built for that. Use the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of deep work, 5 minutes of rest, or longer blocks if they suit you, but always set clear boundaries and no distractions. And remember, you're not a robot. Multitasking doesn't make you productive, it fragments your mind. If you're learning something new, give it your full focus. Only then can your brain absorb and retain what matters. Because you can't become an expert if distractions run your life. You can't be your own master if the world controls your energy. But every time you focus, you win back a life. Every time you resist a distraction, you take one step forward. Every time you train your mind, you become more of who you're meant to be. And now, let's move to the next key to mastery. Memorizing like never before. Now that you've learned the power of focus, let's turn to the next crucial skill, memory. Because learning without remembering is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. Want to remember a negotiation technique? Picture a tense chess match, every move a strategy. Trying to learn a writing rule. Imagine an editor slashing through a manuscript with a giant red pen. The crazier the image, the more your brain clings to it. That's the first memory technique. Use vivid, wild imagery to anchor the information. Second, apply spaced repetition. Don't try to cram everything at once. Science has shown that the brain retains information best when it's reviewed at spaced intervals. It's like building muscle. Lift weights once and nothing happens, but lift regularly with structure and the results stick. Third, explain it out loud. Remember what we said. If you can't explain something simply, you don't fully understand it. When you say something out loud, your brain processes it more deeply. Next time you learn something new, try teaching it to someone who has no clue about it. If you can, explain it clearly without stumbling or jargon. Congratulations, you've truly learned it. My friend, your memory isn't broken, it just needs training. And once you train it, you'll not only remember more, you'll think faster, organize thoughts better, and become someone who truly masters what they know. Now let's move on to one of the most vital Stoic principles. Think with logic, not emotion. We just talked about making decisions based on logic, not emotion. But what happens when emotions completely blur your logic? Have you ever thought, I could have used that money for something better? In relationships, we often stay with someone simply because of a fleeting emotional high, without questioning if they're helping us grow or pulling us down. At work, how many times has someone taken a job just for the paycheck, not realizing they might be stuck there for years? Bad decisions don't just appear out of nowhere. They are the result of not analyzing our options thoroughly. The Stoics understood this well. That's why they practiced a method called premeditation of evils. No, it didn't mean they were pessimistic. It meant they imagined all possible consequences before acting. Marcus Aurelius would ask himself, if I do this, what might happen? What's the worst-case scenario? Am I prepared for that? This mindset is what separates those who let life happen to them from those who take charge of their destiny. Now imagine this. You've been unmotivated at work for a while. You know you could aim higher, learn something new, find a better path, but then fear creeps in. What if I fail? What if I regret it? What if I lose my stability? This is the fork in the road where you choose between acting out of fear or with strategy. If fear wins, you'll stay stuck, complaining, hoping things will change on their own. But if you think like a Stoic, you'll do things differently. First, evaluate before acting. Don't make a choice just because it feels right. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Does this decision bring me closer or further from that? Second, think long-term. Will this job help you grow in 5 years, or just offer short-term comfort? Is this relationship helping you become your best self, or are you staying out of habit? Third, consult an outsider. Not to follow them blindly, but to gain clarity. Emotions cloud judgment. A fresh perspective can reveal what you missed, because every decision shapes who you become. It's not about luck. It's about strategy. Here in this community, we're learning to think better, choose better, and become our own teachers. So tell me, what was the last decision that changed your life? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to learn from your story. Now let's go even deeper, because feeling is human. But losing control is what holds you back. Are you ready to master your emotions? Once you've stopped letting your emotions control you, you begin to take back the steering wheel of your life. And now, it's time for one of the most transformative inner powers, confidence. Picture this. You're a superhero. You step out of your house, suited up, chest lifted, eyes locked on the horizon. You walk as if the world is yours, as if each step leaves a mark. You don't hesitate. You don't wonder if you're good enough. You act. Because superheroes don't wait to feel ready before saving the world. They act first and feel ready later. Back to real life. How many times have you postponed something because you didn't feel ready? How many opportunities have slipped by while you waited for some imaginary green light? If you keep waiting, here's the truth. You never will feel 100% ready. Epictetus said it clearly. Confidence and tranquility come not from others' opinions, but from within. Here's the key. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. It doesn't come from applause. It comes from proving to yourself again and again that you're capable. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger. He arrived in Hollywood with a thick accent, an overbuilt physique, and a name no one could pronounce. He was told he'd never make it in acting, but he didn't wait for anyone's permission to succeed. He kept showing up, kept training, kept believing that consistent effort would win. And it did. Today, his name is a brand, a symbol of grit and achievement, but you don't need to look to Hollywood. Look at science. Albert Bandura, one of the 20th century's most influential psychologists, created the theory of self-efficacy, the belief that confidence grows from experience. The more challenges you face, the more faith you build in yourself. Ever seen someone at the gym who looked lost and insecure on day one? Fast forward a few weeks, they walk with purpose. It's not magic, it's training. So if confidence is a skill, how do you train it? Do one uncomfortable thing each day. No need to skydive or give a TED talk, just small actions outside your comfort zone. Ask for a discount, say hi to a stranger, speak up in a meeting. These small acts add up. 2. Try the power pose. Harvard psychologist Amy Cuddy showed that how you hold your body affects how you feel. Stand tall, hands on hips, chest open. It sounds silly, but studies show it boosts confidence. Celebrate small wins. Write down one thing you did well each day. Even if it's tiny, finishing a workout, raising your hand, saying no. These wins build a new identity. Someone who acts with courage. You weren't born confident, but you can become confident. Not through others, but by what you do for yourself. And when you train that confidence, you take full control of who you're becoming. But what happens when the world keeps changing faster than you can catch up? That's where your next trait comes in. Adaptability. After understanding that confidence can be trained, you realize this. To truly master your life, you must develop one more vital skill, the ability to adapt. But many people do the opposite. They cling to old ways, complain about change, and slowly become dependent on others. In the end, instead of becoming more independent, they end up needing help to solve problems they could have handled, if only they had adapted. That's the price of resisting change. You don't just fall behind, you become dependent on those who move forward. So, how do you avoid becoming that person? The most important thing, be curious, and no, not the kind of curious where you peek through your neighbor's window. The right kind of curiosity asks, how does this work? What benefit might it have? Can I learn something from this? You don't have to accept everything immediately, but you should understand it before dismissing it. Next, stay ahead. If you notice something changing around you, don't wait until you're forced to learn it. Prepare yourself beforehand. Those who adapt early always gain the upper hand, and never forget, failure is part of the process. Adaptation doesn't mean getting it right on the first try. It means learning from each mistake and adjusting quickly. If you want to be the best, the wisest, your own master, you must accept this truth. Nothing in this world stands still. Only those who move with change can truly shape their destiny. So tell me, will you evolve, or will you stay behind? But wait, because here comes the real turning point. There's something that separates those who grow stronger every day from those who stay stuck, asking, why me? Something that determines whether you become your best self or spend a lifetime repeating the same mistakes. What we're about to explore next might feel uncomfortable, but it's exactly what you need to rise.